Good evening, David.
Good evening, Adam.
And good evening to you all. In a week in wrestling in which TNA got its new home and the wrestling transfer window has opened with lots of moves and shakers, but one may now be in jeopardy. We'll talk about all that and so much more on the Week in Wrestling on the Hitting a Turnbuckle podcast with me, your host, Adam Cousins, and of course, my illustrious co host, Mr. Problem Child himself, Mr. David Robinson. Good evening, Dave.
Good evening, mate. How's your week been?
It's been all right. Wrestling field week as normal. If it's not interviews, it's predictions and everything else. I will also bring you the latest update on our prediction league, which kicked off yesterday with TNA Genesis. But David, we must start. TNA new home this past week, AMC debut. So much expectation, so much press, and then Dave, they go and shit the bed.
Yeah. It wasn't great, was it? Impact.
No. For 2 hours long, three matches. There were some nice bits. Cora, the artist formerly known as Cora Jade, which we'll bring up shortly, debuted. Sonya Deville kind of returned. Well, she was part of it once. She's kind of back now. Actually, at Genesis, Fuego del Sol was a part of Genesis as well. Thankfully, though, Dave, the one thing I would say is they may have shit the bed on Thursday, but last night they produced a unbelievable Genesis in which Mike Santana did reign supreme. The king of the cashing, Nick Nemeth, did try, but fouled to cash in. He didn't foul as in he didn't win the match. He didn't get as far as the cash in. Although, if you do you remember when Shawn Michaels first joined DX, they had Sergeant Slaughter in the ring and he was wearing sort of hot pants with something down his crutch.
Oh, I've tried to block that memory out, mate, to be honest.
Well, Nick Nemeth was doing the self same thing as the officiating referee last night. But look, Dave, sometimes you do only get one chance to make a first impression with the fans, anyway, not necessarily with the producers and everyone at AMC who are apparently happy with Impact. But I feel as if they may have been saved by the pay-per-view yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. I think they redeemed it. And yeah, I think there were a few technical difficulties. And from what I was reading, a few people were late. They had travel issues. So I think that
Hmm.
impacted the show as well. No pun intended. But yeah, you can't. I mean, I haven't seen all of it. I've seen bits of it. I've read the results, and I will watch it in full. But it is getting rave reviews, like you say. It was a really good show. A lot of good action, a lot of good matches. The matches definitely delivered, and yeah, I think that will curry them a bit of favour with the fans, who will be looking forward to the next show, and can kind of block out some of the stuff that wasn't so good on the first Impact on AMC.
Indeed, and that will be this coming Thursday. I think from Albuquerque, New Mexico, if I'm correct in saying, which we'll see what happens there. Well, I just want to talk travel issues quickly. The visa issues. Now, I had to come out this morning and actually correct myself and said I was wrong because I was very what was the word really? Passionate about the fact that Leon Slater didn't have travel issues, and I felt as if WWE were just pulling him off of the show. But no, I have had word that he has got visa issues. So that's why WWE have added him to SmackDown and the rest of the tour, or at least most of the tour over here in the UK. So that I can put to bed. It is a visa issue, not a WWE pulling their weight, so
Yeah.
to speak. So I stand corrected on that. I'm happy to be stand corrected on that as well. However, a team that finished up with TNA this week, they dropped the Knockouts titles to the Elegance brand. That being the Inspiration, Cassie Lee, Jessica McKay finishing up with TNA this past week. Do you see any interest anywhere for these two?
I think they go back to WWE, but I
Think?
might be way off the mark there. But obviously Spears is there as well, isn't he? At
Hmm. Yeah,
NXT, still in
he is.
NXT. So I
Yeah.
think they've probably got people pulling for them as well. They are entertaining,
Hmm.
and the fact that SmackDown's gone to 3 hours again. I think
Yeah, what
I
fun.
could definitely see them uh, being added to that roster. I think it's just it's been great, really. It has been like
Mm.
the transfer window in terms of all the comings and goings and the changes and the controversy and the non-competes and yeah, potential lawsuits and some of the comments as well that are being thrown about people's experiences in different promotions. So yeah, from a fan's point of view, it's great. It adds another layer to the I don't know, to wrestling really. The social media and the dirt sheets have always taken a bashing over the years, but this type of stuff brings it in line with other sports. You know, people are interested, fans are interested. It is as well. I heard Sean Ross Sapp say this. You know, it's good to hear about people getting these good contracts and these opportunities elsewhere. We've spoke about that. You know, the success of all the different companies
Yeah.
creates more opportunities in the industry for performers. And yeah, hearing that people are going like Powerhouse Hobbs, who I'm sure we'll talk to,
Yeah.
anticipate he's going to turn up in WWE. He's probably going to earn money there that will set him. Not that he was on bad money in AEW by any stretch, but
No.
that kind of exposure, that run in the WWE, plus the financial package that he'll be offered, that sets up probably a few generations of his family. So yeah, it's positive, really. It's all good stuff, and I think the good thing as well, people don't tend to be burning too many bridges in recent
No.
times. You know, they're
Mm.
doing things the right way. They're coming to the end of the contract, and they're they're being offered opportunities elsewhere. And we've seen with Andrade, didn't
Hmm.
work out as he anticipated. His marriage broke down, which was probably another factor in his run in WWE because of
Yeah.
how Charlotte is positioned in the company. And he's gone back to AEW, and I'm pretty confident that he will have a good run in AEW. Not that he had a bad run last time, but I really do
No.
think now, um, now is the time for him to really be part of that main event picture in AEW. So yeah, really exciting. I think it's great.
It's a pretty damn big picture in AEW at the minute. We'll get to it shortly.
Yeah.
But I mentioned a name before. Someone that's joined TNA, Cora Jade, the artist woman knows Cora
Yeah.
Jade, Elena Black. And Genesis, she made a point very clear that she was coming after the Knockouts champion ship. Alongside Bear Bronson, who I talked to Tom Hannifan about, I think I spoke last week and said he was a blue chipper. Have TNA, and this is a 1 year contract for Elena Black. Have they potentially picked up there some a potential blue chip candidate in Elena Black?
I think so, yeah. I think because they've lost a few. I mean, we were talking about this last week, how
Mm.
TNA are very much in this conversation now.
Yeah.
And they've lost a few talents, and I would like to get your view on that, to be honest, because obviously you're the TNA man, and you know you've
Cheers.
been invested in the project for a long time now. So
Yeah.
people like the Rascals and Jake Something leaving.
Mm.
You see that as a big blow. I thought that they were going to be a big part of TNA's future, but then they're getting the likes of Cora Jade in. They're getting, you know, they've got the relationship with WWE, and you know AEW stars are looking to move over there. You look at Kazarian, you look at Mike Santana,
Yeah.
but yeah, Cora Jade, huge pickup for their Knockouts division.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. We might as well, yeah, we'll hit straight into it. You mentioned two names there. I mean, AEW. I mean, Tony Khan has been floating this checkbook around since 2026. Bearing in mind we're 18 days in to the year already. These are the signings now, AEW. Now, granted, there is a few of these that are under dual contracts with CMLL, so they are going to count. But these are the names. So obviously they brought back Andrade, which we knew about. Mascara Dorada, Persephone, uh, fucking Hichichero. I
Nailed
hope
that,
that's.
mate. Oh,
I
yeah,
nailed that
that's
one.
quite good as well. Yeah, well done, mate.
Yeah, fucking brilliant.
You've been
Uh,
taking Spanish lessons.
sí, sí, señor.
Did
Um,
did Rachel buy you that, what's it called, Rosetta Stone for Christmas?
yeah. That was it with my lump of coal. Yeah, Rosetta Stone. Mainly Japanese though, but the Spanish ones, I've had to come into it. So yeah, Jake Doyle. We'll get onto the Rascals in a minute. Queen Anamara has extended a contract, and then MJF this past weekend announced that Alec Price and Jordan Oliver have both been all elite. MJF was, I think it was Limitless, I want to say, wrestling this weekend over in the States and announced that. How is he? I mean, don't get me wrong, talent pool incredible. There's never going to be, TNA will always go TNA. AEW is always going to have this incredible amount of talent. The problem here that I envisage is TV time. Now they've got 2 hours of Dynamite. They've got 2 hours of Collision. They do have an hour of Ring of Honor, and I'm assuming Price and Oliver may be heading down that way to begin with. Um, Without hard splitting this roster, does he have to consider an extra hour of Dynamite and Collision purely because the roster is so bloated? And granted, there's going to be some names that will leave, and we've mentioned Hobbs, and there probably will be a couple of them, maybe Serpentico and Angelico and people like that. No disrespect to them, but they'll probably go away or be moved on when their contract expires. But does he have to now start looking at how he's going to get these people on television?
Yeah, it's a good problem to have in many ways.
Yeah.
Like you said, there are people that are going to be moved on, that there are,
Hmm.
long term AEW
Hmm.
employees and performers that are no longer with the company anymore. You look at Alex Abrahantes, not a wrestler, but somebody that we've seen on screen since the
Yeah.
inception of the company. So there are going to be people moved on, like you say. I mean, the working relationship with New Japan, the working
Mm.
relationship with CMLL, this does help because certain performers can go and have a run in those promotions while they're not doing anything in AEW. They've got Ring of Honor as well.
Hmm.
They have got a relatively young roster, but there are a number of older performers there now.
Yeah.
Um, I know Copeland and Christian aren't on TV at the minute,
Hmm.
but from what we're hearing, Copeland will be finishing up in wrestling this year, and there's probably a few of these older performers,
Mm.
these these 50, 60 year olds, that it doesn't seem that AEW are doing as much with those type
Hmm.
of performers anymore. What they have done is a very good job with those performers, but we're not
Yeah.
seeing as much of it. There seems to be more of a concerted effort to look to the future, establish their own stars, some younger stars. Um, but yeah, I think there's probably going to be a few like Hobbs and others that may be moved on.
Mm.
But like we talked about Sammy Guevara. I think this was last week, possibly the
Yeah.
week before. Um, Sammy Guevara, he's the best thing for his career to go over to NXT or to do something different, or to go and have a real good strong run on the Indies. You know, so. Yeah, it is bloated. It's an amazing roster on any given week. As much as we get these great matches on TV, I
Mm.
don't feel like, remember when WCW used to put these big matches on, and why are they doing that on Nitro? Like, that's a pay-per-view match. But because of the depth of talent in AEW, they always have great pay-per-views.
Mm.
They seem to always be able to put on these shows that aren't repetitive. We get different matches. We get different stipulations as well on television, and it doesn't seem. I don't feel very often. Oh, that should have been on. That should have been on pay-per-view. It's more the other way around. Some of the
Yeah.
pay-per-views, I'll say that should have been on TV.
Yeah.
You look at the Rascals. So four of them coming in. AEW have got the options there for singles. They've got a couple of different tag titles they could go after, whether that's Ring of Honor, whether that's AEW. I actually think the Rascals will feature predominantly on the main product.
Yeah. Seems that
But
way.
then you've got the trios as well.
Hmm.
So there's these different variations of the team and different types of matches. So as a fan, I absolutely love it. My question would be to Tony Khan is how do you keep everybody happy? But that's a problem for him. As far as we're concerned, as long as they keep turning out the dynamites and collisions that we've been getting for so long now. Um, yeah, he's doing everything right, isn't he? It's hard to criticize him.
That's a him problem, right? That's not a
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not a we
exactly.
problem.
I mean, yeah, I would have, you got different egos, obviously, personalities backstage and trying to
Hmm.
keep everybody happy. I mean, Chris Jericho, who we was talking about, older performers, that could have
Yeah.
been a huge blow for AEW. in the past, and oh, so he's gone back to WWE. You know what does? But actually, it does AEW a favor. How good
Yeah,
losing a legend? And I know we kind of got a bit sick of Jericho, and we wanted a bit of a break from him. I think that's
mm,
fair to say.
yeah,
He's one of the greatest of all times. He's on many people's Mount Rushmores. You know, there's no when you look at what he's achieved, the
yeah.
longevity, the character reinvention, some of the matches, the titles he's held. He's the first ever AEW World Champion. So to be able to lose the first ever AEW World Champion, somebody that's done so much for the company, but it not really affect them, is testament to how good a job Tony Khan's doing with the rest of the roster.
Yeah, he is very much so, indeed. And we'll get to we'll talk the Rascals because you did bring them up. So the old in WWE performance contract is seemingly reeling its ugly head. I read a report this morning, oh sorry, this evening, just before we went off on air from some reputable sources that indicate Trey Miguel may not be joining AEW as it stands. I don't know. He had all the AEW stuff on his socials. He's since removed Z references to AEW on the socials. I don't know why, because Trey Miguel was TNA contract, so I don't. That's confusing
Yeah,
me a
I'm,
little bit.
I'm just reading it as you're talking through, and it says that the contracts were set to expire with TNA around
Mm,
January 13th, but there's no mention of a 90-day non-compete. But with the relationship with WWE, you just never know what's happening with contracts and what agreements are in place. I can't see much about that, but yeah, it's interesting that he's removed everything from his
mm,
socials. I think about 5 years ago, Miguel turned down WWE at the time.
yes.
Um, so he's got a bit of a checkered past in terms of his relationship with WWE.
Mm,
But I don't know. I don't know whether there's anything they could do to block that move.
can't see
Not
it.
sure. No, I wouldn't have thought so either. But it's just strange that yeah, he's taken stuff down.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully those negotiations haven't broken down because it seemed like up
Well,
till today it was a done deal.
yeah, I mean, they announced all four of them on Impact on
Collision.
Dynamite this week, and they come
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Collision as a
yeah.
trio. Myron Reed was the one that was more unlikely, in my opinion, because TNA were quite keen on, were certainly keen on working with Myron Reed. He's now we're talking like a Leon Slayer-esque worker here. Myron Reed fits that. I mean. There's going to be a lot. We're going to have a lot of fun with the Rascals in AEW. That's without a shadow of a doubt. However, a guy that did finish up, and we spoke about him last week, but you may have been given a bit of news as to when we're going to be seeing Mr. Powerhouse Hobbs in the WWE. And David, it's not going to be on NXT for all we hear.
Okay. I anticipate it'd be the Royal Rumble, but
Yeah,
what have you heard?
exactly what you heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Bypassing the system, so to speak. I think I don't know about a name change. I think those rumors were debunked this week about a potential name change. However, he's seemingly not going to be going to NXT and will be heading straight to that main roster. And if he does do that, Dave, where or who would you like to see him lock horns with?
Well, I think what I read about his name that they were toying with just going with Hobbs. Um, that's what I read. Whether they do completely change it, whether they go with Will Hobbs, I wouldn't have thought they'd go with the powerhouse. I
No,
don't think.
I don't think they'll do that.
Um, who would I like to see him lock horns with? Well, there's a few obvious candidates. Some of the big meaty mofos. Um, a potential match with Lesnar would be
Cool.
something that would be depending on how they book him when he comes in.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I think we'll get to Cardona shortly, but depending on what they do, and it's okay bringing him in. Pento's another one. They bought
Ray
Penta
Phoenix,
in.
for fuck's sake.
Phoenix is that's a travesty to be honest. What's happened with him? Which again, I would never ever criticize anyone for signing any wrestler, any performer to sign a contract with WWE. It's
No.
the top wrestling promotion. It's the longest standing, wrestling promotion in the United States. It is in many ways, when people think about wrestling, that's who they think about.
Mm,
But you look at the track record of some of these guys that have moved over from AEW.
mm.
Um, yeah, I like to think things will be different with Hobbs. He's got a close relationship with Mark Henry, I believe, who has got a
Yeah.
close relationship with people backstage at WWE.
Mhm.
He's kind of been in Hobbs's corner since he's broke into the um, not so much into wrestling, but certainly into the big leagues. Um, and he's somebody that could certainly, I mean, he's great on the mic as well. He's great in the ring. I don't think we've really heard as much in terms of promo work from Hobbs as we should have in AEW. Because when he was doing the Book of Hobbs stuff, I really was into that. I thought it was
Mm.
really good. Maybe he had an injury around that time, which derailed that a little bit. Um, he's been a good face. He's been a good heel. I've really enjoyed
Ooh.
him within the ops. Um, whether now he'll be replaced in the ops remains to be seen. But yeah, to answer your question, I would absolutely love to see him tear it up with the likes of Cody Rhodes. Um, who are even like Trick Williams.
Gunther.
Who else we got?
Gunther.
Roman.
Mm.
I think I'm sure he faced Punk in AEW. I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I got a feeling he had a match with Punk. Maybe
Mm.
I'm thinking about Wardlow or something else, but I just got a feeling he'd worked with Hobbs and Punk had worked together in AEW. Um, but yeah, Rollins, Breaker, anybody that's involved in the Vision. But I feel he will come in as a heel.
Okay.
I just got a feeling he will. I can't see that big match. He'll get a huge pop, regardless of if he
Yeah.
jumps the barrier and runs in, or whether he's in the Rumble. He's going to get a huge reaction. Um, but I think whether he comes in initially as a babyface, he'll very quickly become a heel and a monster, essentially.
Wonder if he'll join the Vision. But breaking news. Sorry, we've just spoke about Trey Miguel. He has just posted, actually while we were talking, on his Instagram, taking a break from wrestling. Please respect my space and don't tag me in any posts or comments. Go support the Rascals still.
I've just saw it on Fightful. It's just popped up that article, hasn't it?
Hmm.
So
There
yeah,
we go. From Trey Miguel himself. So yeah, we will not be seeing Trey Miguel, unfortunately, in AEW as at the moment, anyway. But plenty of other names to be seen in AEW.
yeah.
But we hope that whatever's obviously with Trey Miguel, we hope that he's okay anyway, and whatever's happened has happened, and hopefully he'll. He's too much of a good talent to be away from wrestling. So
Yeah,
let's
I'm
hope
sure as and when he's ready, he'll have
he'll be back.
opportunities with AEW, probably have
Mm.
opportunities wherever he wants to go, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly that. So we'll wait and see for that. So let's go on to WWE. A fairly quiet week in terms of outside stuff going on. Obviously, they're embarking over a tour in Europe. Raw was another fucking shit the bed for the crowd again in Germany. Never go. I mean, no disrespect, Germany, but if fucking hell, you've let everyone down with that this last week. London pulled it back out the hat with SmackDown this week, which we did get to see the number one contenders. Lots of matches. Obviously, SmackDown 3 hours ago. Again, thought the show was good. I didn't go through moments during the show where I was bored. Actually, I thought that was the 3 hour SmackDowns at the moment are working fine. For me, Raw in Belfast tomorrow, Punk and Balor for the World Championship should be a good one. But you mentioned Matt Cardona. He comes back to the WWE. Lots of publicity, lots of stuff. And the first thing that Matt Cardona does upon his return, apart from beating Kit Wilson last week, is job out to Trick Williams in the Fatal Four Way in loads of matches. Sorry, to build to a Fatal Four Way at next Saturday for Saturday night's main event. Dave, you messaged me and said like, what the fuck is this booking about?
Well, yeah, I'd actually say he deserves better, which I really do believe. I think that's a huge mistake making him lose like that so soon. And yes, Trick Willie, I just mentioned him, somebody that I'd like to see take on
Mm.
Hobbs and certainly he's going to be a big star for the company. But I just wouldn't have made that match. I just wouldn't have. You got Trick Williams coming in
Mhm.
fresh, a new one for the future. And then you've got a returning Cardona that has had all this success and brought so many eyes to wrestling over the
Mm.
past few years with everything that he's done. All the eyes he brought to this podcast as well, once upon a time when he was a
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he's one of really one of his. It was kind of his one that really kicked us off in terms of
yeah, being able to
bringing
then go on to get more and more.
wrestlers on.
Yeah, yeah, it really did help us attract people, and like the fact that he had that good experience, you like to think that
It
that
helped.
kind of thing. Yeah, yeah. They say, "Oh, what's this podcast? Oh, yeah, I did that. These guys are cool." Maybe maybe not, but I think somebody else did that, didn't they? Wasn't it? Zach. Um, Zach.
Yeah, there was that
Yeah,
one. There
Zach
was
Zodiac.
another. Yeah, Zach. I
Zach
mean, Zach
Zodiac
done.
said, didn't it, that he spoke to wrestlers and
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
been on. So yeah, it does. It help.
Also, there was another one that spoke to Buff Bagwell. It
Yes.
might have been DDP actually. I can't remember
Yeah,
what one
yeah.
anyway. So
But
look, it's a good thing, but yeah, you think he deserves better.
he does so much yeah, so much good and got himself back to WWE. Now he lost in the Cena tournament, but you could kind of forgive them for that, saying,
Mhm.
putting Zack Ryder to bed if you like, and that's the
Mhm.
end of Zack Ryder. Here's Matt Cardona. This is the real version of him, and we're going to get the best from him. And straight away, second week in, he's lost, and then he's taken a beatdown from a guy who very, very entertaining, really like him, getting massively over. But is that really what we expect to be seen from? Did that need to be Matt Cardona? Did
Mhm.
Matt Cardona need to be in that position? Is it just going to be a matter of time till he's just in the similar role to he was first time round with the company, other than his IC title win and a bit of a run after the success of his podcast? He was predominantly used as somebody that would have consistent good matches with people, but ultimately be the one looking at the lights, taking the pinfall.
Yeah.
I think there's more. I think that he's got more to offer than that. And I'm not saying that he should be taking on Cody at WrestleMania,
Mhm.
necessarily, and he should be elevated into the main event scene straight away. But to take a loss so early is damaging. So yeah, and I think that's really been the perception online as well. I think a lot of people have been quite disappointed that that was how it went down on SmackDown.
Yeah, indeed it shall. So, indeed, you're right. I do agree. Matt Cardona should be booked better. So, Trick Williams, Randy Orton was another one that when Sami Zayn was the third, and forgive me, the fourth one is eluding me right about now. Who was the fourth person? That's a bit of that's a bit of
Oh,
a faux pas
wow.
on my behalf. I totally forgot who the fourth man was in this. Let's go.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the
Was
fourth
it
man.
not Priest? Was it Damien Priest?
Damian Priest. Thank you, Dave. Well done. Well done. Good in there. Yes, Damian Priest. Winner of that takes on Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Are we sitting here pretty much saying it's Randy Orton or no one out of them?
Well, we've seen a lot from Priest and McIntyre in the past.
Hmm.
They could run that back. I'm not sure if whether it's there's been enough time between
I don't think
their
Damian Priest has.
rivalry.
I don't think Damian Priest has done any. He's had a feud with Aleister Black, which was good to be fair, but in terms of talent elevation, I don't think he's anywhere near right now where Damian
No,
main event.
I've got I've got Sammy as a bit of an outside chance for the Rumble just because of where it is in Saudi.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be um, taking on McIntyre there because I think that's what he's going to be involved in. So Trick seems a little bit too soon. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that that would be a bad thing necessarily. It's
Mhm.
definitely a fresh match. Um, but yeah, given the timing of Randy's return, it would appear to me that that is the creative direction to have that match at the Rumble. Randy Drew, nice. Pretty much going to be a first title defense. Not the Rumble, sorry, it's Saturday Night's main event. It's going to be a first title defense. It's going to be pretty elementary in terms of the result. It's going to be a Drew retention.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think Randy would make a lot of sense to be the man that we see taking on Drew.
Yeah, well, we will see. That's for sure. If that does happen, well, we'll find out this Saturday. Saturday night's main event. We'll find out who the next person is
I think
in
I
line.
misspoke then. The four ways at Saturday Night's main event, and then the winner of the four way goes on to the Rumble to face Drew.
Correct. The
That's
following
right.
week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's the way I see it playing out. Randy winning the four way, going to the Rumble. Sammy, and probably other two being involved in the Rumble match itself.
Oh, without a doubt. They'll definitely be in the Rumble. Drew should win that. I don't think there's enough build up for a week. A week build up for a title change doesn't work really
Yeah, it's
for
not going to
me.
happen. It's going to be a Drew retention, isn't it?
Mm.
It should be a good
Raw.
match.
Raw tomorrow.
Yeah.
Headlined in Belfast. Finn Balor playing the CM Punk card very well. Finn Balor CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship. What type of reaction do we expect CM Punk to be getting tomorrow night in Belfast?
Mm. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
Mm.
Um, yeah, I would say there'll be a portion of the audience that's still going to be cheering him and singing along to Court Personality, but I think there'll be a vocal portion of the audience that are going to be giving him some, yeah, some pretty strong boos, and Balor's sure to have a great reaction. And we're not again, even though where it is, I don't think Balor's going to be coming out winning that, but it will be interesting the way to how they do it, given how strong a reaction Finn will get. Do you think he'll do the demon, or do you think that's kind of
I don't think he'll do the
done for
demon.
now?
I don't
No.
think he'll do the demon purely because I think that he could do something. He may get like a special entrant. I don't know. Maybe when he come out in London once, he done the Jack the Ripper
Yeah,
thing. I'd like for him to do something special. I don't know. I just feel if he does the demon, he generally would. I mean, I know Roman beat him, albeit the turnbuckle come off during their SmackDown match during COVID. I would rather it be the demon if he's going to win
yeah,
more than anything else. But I ponder the question because you said about reactions. Do
yeah.
you think, not necessarily the result of the match, but do you think how they work the match? Because both of these guys are very, very experienced in this ring. Will they work the match based on the crowd reaction?
Yeah, I think so. I think Punk will probably be the heel in
Mm,
terms of the style of them, how they wrestle it. I think they've got to lean into it. They've got it will be so visceral. It's not going to be a
yeah.
50-50. As I say, I expect Punk to get, to have a fan base there and younger fans as well. There's probably going to be, some kids that are big CM Punk fans, and they're not going to be bothered about where Finn came from or the fact that it's in Belfast. They're going to support Punk regardless, but there is going to
Mm,
be, yeah, a huge, huge support for Finn. So I think, yeah, the style of the match, Finn will probably be the baby face in peril, and he'll have to come back and fight from beneath. And yeah, the finish will be interesting as well, how they do that.
yeah.
I'd like it to be clean though. I would like it to be just a one-on-one. I know you've got um the what's the
Judgment
faction
Day?
called?
Judgment Day?
Judgment Day. Yeah, sorry, mate. It's been a long day. Yeah, you got the Judgment Day. I'd like to think there's no involvement then. It's just straight between those two. I think they could do that. And like over in AEW, like a Continental Classic, no
Mm,
interference, just one-on-one. Punk
mm.
comes out with a win, but Finn gives a great showing of himself and shows why he should still be considered in the main event scene and why he's a worthy um, challenger for Punk.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think you're hitting now on the head what they're going to do. I totally do. I think JD McDonough's injured and so's Dom, so I don't think there'll be any interference unless Raquel, Liv, and Roxanne get involved
Yeah.
in that, which could then lead then AJ Lee coming in, perhaps, and potentially. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just a thought.
it could be, but I think. I could even see, Finn saying something like, "I've got this," I'm
Mm.
going on my own, and I could also see at the end of the match them shaking hands.
Maybe.
Um, Perhaps, and that's how it goes off the air. So even though Finn loses, they go off the air with both of them raising it, stand on a turn. I don't know, raising Punk raising Balor's arm or vice versa.
Or being
So
attacked by the Vision.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe. I
maybe.
don't know. Cody and Jacob Fatu as well. Saturday night's main event.
Okay.
Interesting. See where that goes. I don't think they've ever faced each other before. Not on the certainly not on the main television.
Yeah, not sure
Anyway,
if they crossed paths on the Indies when pre AEW, but I don't think so.
neither do I. Podcast prediction time, everyone. So as you guys will know, 10 other podcasts, not us and nine others, have embarked on a pay-per-view prediction league. We started this at Genesis last night, and the good news is, Dave, we are one of the 7 podcasts that are in the lead after the first round. There's 7 podcasts on 18 points. So it was 3 points for a correct result. If you did get a full house, you got a bonus 10. Nobody got that because TNA do a good job of not sometimes they just pull a different winner out when you was expecting, obviously with changes and stuff like that. So we've had it's been an interesting week for that because I've had to send so many messages out to people where matches have changed, they've added matches. There was even a match that got announced literally on the show. So I couldn't even send a prediction out for people to get, which so we did miss a match. So that wasn't a fault of obviously our own. So it's us cruising with kayfabe, the Ministry of Wrestling, Gary Joe at Honor the Elite, the Wrestling Junkies, CCP podcasting, and our good friend Harry at Wrestling Life, all on 18. And then the following 3, Wrestling Pedigree, John's Podcasting Network, and the I Love Wrestling podcast, all on 15. But next time that we do predictions is in 2 weeks, and it's probably the most unpredictable pay-per-view to predict, which will be the Royal Rumble. The good thing about that is it'll only be a smaller card until they do 2 years, a 2-night Royal Rumble, which will probably be next year. Um, but I am not one thing I'm not looking forward to, Dave. And this is just not it's not a hit, it's more of a joke. It's to do the fucking predictions for an AEW one.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
gonna be like obviously we don't do the pre-show, although one of the matches for TNA did fall on the pre-show. In the end, it wasn't announced as a pre-show match, whereas AEW do a good job of saying this is going to be a pre-show match. So that's going to be it. But Dave, we're top of we're joint top of the table after one pay-per-view.
Yeah, I can't take much of the credit. Actually, I can't take any of the credit. But I will quite happily ride your coattails and hopefully help us out, certainly with the AEW
Oh yeah,
pay-per-view. Well, yeah, a bit on with the WWE as well. Yeah, again, I'm thinking about the Rumble. I know Cody's declared himself, hasn't he?
he has. Yeah, trying to do first one to go back to back to back.
No, it won't be really. It'll be back to back, then Jay, then back.
Sorry, you're right. He'd be the first person to win it 3 times. Sorry,
Yeah,
first person to win it
yeah,
3 times.
yeah. He would be the first, wouldn't he? 'Cause
Yeah,
did
Um,
Austin won
twice.
twice? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Triple H twice.
yeah. Michaels, I think twice.
I had a
Yeah.
feeling that Austin had won three, but yeah, certainly 3 wins out of 4 years. That would be a first, I'm pretty sure.
I
Even
hope
if
he
it's
doesn't, man. I hope he don't win it.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think we should have a winner. Where have you gone? Disappeared off
I'm
my
here.
screen.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'd like to see another winner. I didn't mind Jay winning at the time. I think probably in hindsight, that's probably seen as a mistake by many people. I don't know if they even think it was a mistake though. I think it was a good moment. The Jay was absolutely deserving of it, given the reactions he was getting.
hmm
Um, they tried something different, and I really, really can't criticize them for that. Would they do that now? Probably not. They'd have, they'd probably go with one of the other options that they discussed. But yeah, I think somebody that's won two, and we've had so much of Cody, unless they are going in the heel direction with him, which we speculated on last
hmm
week. Um, Yeah, I'd like to see someone else, maybe a Jacob Fatu, maybe a Sami Zayn, given the fact that it's in Saudi.
Yeah.
Um, Somebody that we haven't necessarily seen in that spot before. I think it's going to be, I think it's a standard 30 man, isn't it? It's not like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I'm intrigued with the women's rumble as well.
Mhm.
We always get some returns. We've speculated on a couple of the people that might be in it, in Hobbs and Jericho. Um, I'm sure there'll be a number of people in it that aren't announced. I think that's always the best rumbles. I
Yeah.
remember one year where they kind of pretty much announced all 30 people that was in it, and it was a little
Shit.
bit, yeah, yeah. I don't know what year that was. I know they did I think it was the one I went to in San Antonio when they'd announced because Goldberg was in it, Undertaker was in it,
Yeah.
Lesnar was. It was like a star-studded one, and
Mm.
that was okay. But I certainly think there should be at least 10 or 12 spaces in there that aren't announced, that are surprised, even if they you kind of half expect them to show up. Yeah, I think we do want that mystery and intrigue as to who might be showing up. So it's going to be a difficult one to predict for that reason, if none other. But yeah, I think we'll do okay, mate. I think we'll hold our own at the Rumble, and when the next AEW pay-per-view rolls around, Full Gear, is it?
Yeah, it'll be full gear. Yeah, something like
Evolution.
that. February or March time, I believe. Well, that'd be when I'm really hanging on for you on that one. Hanging for you
Yeah.
to predict that. We'll see. But anyway, I just need to do two quick shout outs. Obviously, everyone in the podcast prediction league, thanks for taking part, and we will get around to speaking with you all at some point during the course of the year. But I've turned into a booker this week, David.
Sorry, mate. It was Revolution, the next big pay-per-view. They've got house rules in Australia,
Uh-huh.
Grand Slam in Australia.
I was just
Yeah.
telling you about my
We've done
venture,
it
and
to a
you
booker.
just yes, yes. I'm saying so.
Sorry, mate. I was going to read and listen at the
Yeah,
same time. I've just failed you. Sorry.
yeah, absolutely found.
You've got
So
my undivided attention now.
you sure about that? So yeah, this week I turned into a booker. So our good friends at NWA, there's a wrestler there called Big Strong Mims, and he was looking for some bookings over here as well, as well as in America, and he sent a few feelers out, and one of the recommendations that I sent happens to be in the Podcast Prediction League, CCP Podcasting. He runs his own promotion and has booked Mims for 6 shows for the year.
Yeah, fantastic. I hope you get a little commission on that, mate.
I'm,
Little
I'm waiting for
finder's
him to.
fee.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to come over to the UK, Mims. I'm sure he'll buy me a beer or something or other, and when he's over here. So yeah, that was a pretty good, nice week. So big shout out to Mims, and I need to have a big shout out and congratulations to Exodus Pro superstar Pretty Boy Smooth from EC Freeze Group, the Holy Grail, who has now officially signed an NWA contract. They've taken their fucking time, big man, but they finally got you signed up. So congratulations to Pretty Boy Schmoove, the urban playboy. We'll be seeing a lot more. Me and Fee will be seeing a lot more of him on NWA Power. But coming up on this show tomorrow, you'll see myself and one of the members of the Podcast Prediction League, Justin Woolvine from I Love Wrestling. That'll be dropping tomorrow. I will also be interviewing as part of Independent Showcase Katrina Creed. Maybe I'll get her some bookings as well. Coming up also in the booth this week, I'll be talking to New Japan Pro Wrestling's Walker Stewart. Really looking forward to discussing all things New Japan with Walker. Obviously, we're going to be with Body Slam next weekend when we come back and do these reviews again. And then the following Tuesday, I'm going to be with former TNA wrestler, member of the DK, Crazy Steve, will be coming on the podcast to have a good little chat about what he's up to. As we come to the end of January, finally, for some people, I'll also be talking to Little Mars, who's coming over. She's coming over here. She's going to be at Slam Masters, our good friends over in Wales. She's going to be over there. So I'm looking forward to speaking to her about that. Is there any more before I wrap up? I don't think there is. There is. Nova wrestler, not the old ECW. This is a woman wrestler called Nova. She's also a volunteer. She's also a first responder over in America. She's a jack of all trades, and she'll be a part of Independent Showcase as well. So lots and lots coming up on the show.
Lovely. Be interesting to see hear Crazy Steve's thoughts on the TNA at the minute and the comings and
Yeah.
goings, and like I mentioned earlier, some of the talent that have left TNA are people that you perhaps think that would stay there long term and they would, be involved in the future of the company.
Uh,
But they're
they
obviously
got
doing really well. I don't know if we'll ever know just how much input or pull WWE or influence WWE are having in terms of comings and goings. But yeah, he'll be a great guest.
He will be. Yeah, looking forward to that one. I was thinking of something to tell you then, but it's now absolutely gone. So I don't think I'm going to bring that one back. I don't think I can think of it now. What I was going to say. No, it has definitely left my mind. So in that case, David, can you serenade us off the air, please?
Okay, mate. It's time to bid you all adieu, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang, bang, bang.
Stay safe, everybody.